and then they just found him. And then other people said he was like harassed the whole time and struggled through the workout, and like they knew he was like took off to cool down and nobody checked on him or anything until it was like he was already past the point of like.
And as someone who's played football, I've seen in situations where cats got pushed a little hard. One dude had asthma and he was just like, fuck y'all, I'm not running. And I was like, wait, you have asthma? Oh, bro, I would go sit down. I'd be like, y'all can all kiss my ass because if I get out here and die, ain't none of you, my mom's coming for all of your throats.
But yeah, man, we all know those situations. So final thoughts on on the whole.
The bottom line is, this
there
goes into the narrative that this is.
The NCAA doesn't really care about players.
No. This goes to the NFL too, and sports in general. Like, where does it stop to where the conflict of interest is so heavy in sports medicine? The pressure to get these guys healthy, but then just look at Kevin Durant. He got hurt. The trainers like allegedly may have pushed him to come back. They're saying they didn't, but now this man has a torn Achilles tendon one way or another, and he got surgery on it. But it's like, that's why people prefer second opinions and prefer not to go to team doctors.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, especially Kawhi Leonard. This is why cats would prefer not to listen to the team doctor, because when you're retired and you're like 38 and you have either have CTE or you have no meniscus in your left knee or whatever the fuck.
And I forgot who
team doctor ain't going to be there.
I forgot. It might have been Dr. Clapper, but it was somebody who kind of talked about a lot of team doctors, they don't really change, and a lot of them have been in the position for 30 or so years, and a lot of them are doing it on a part-time basis for the obvious perks of getting to meet athletes and getting to be around an organization and getting, seats to games and et cetera, et cetera.
Getting
so it's
clients.
So they want to keep that job, and at the same time, they don't necessarily need it. So it's definitely like I don't know. It's like you said, there's a lot of conflicting interests. Yeah, there's a lot of conflicting interests.
I think about when I was in high school and we barely had like a team doctor situation to now at Lawndale, they got like medical programs for high schools. Like, you can literally damn near go to med school in high school at Lawndale and train and learn to become an athletic trainer, get CPR trained and all that shit. When we were there, we had like a couple people who were there working a shift because they wanted to be. And like, they had people paid through the school to be there. But a lot of times, not everybody's that lucky to even have that.
All right, man. So real quick, I got like 3 things that I want to get to. So before we get to the rants, so you're going to go first. So just think about what you're going to say. You make this shit quick so we get out of here. All right, man. First up, we got the Panthers on Amazon's All or Nothing. Is that a touchdown or is that a turnover?
Turnover.
Nobody watches that shit.
No one watched that shit. Don't watch it with the Cardinals when they weren't going to make the playoffs. They didn't even make the playoffs.
I don't even know the Rams were on that the same year they were on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, and everybody's going to be watching the Raiders on Hard Knocks. So Amazon's just, they're trying, but that's not your area of expertise.
Next up, man, we got the Rams announced 2 joint practices with the Raiders. Is that a touchdown or is that a turnover?
I just want to know who Marcus Peters is going to go up to and fight first.
Hey. It's going to be Joyner. Like, bro, you got all that money, you 5'8", and you don't get picks?
And you don't really make tackles and blitz like that?
I guess.
He's Jason David playing.
Man, I'm going to say it's a turnover because I was saying this off air, but the Rams are really trying to clout chase Raiders fans, and they're probably going to try to convert those fans to Rams fans when they move to Vegas. Because when you think about it,
guilty as charged.
There's a lot of Raiders fans already in L.A., A. B, Raiders fans hate 49ers fans.
With the passion.
So when the Raiders leave the Bay, they're not going to be 49ers fans regardless.
Fuck the entire city of San Francisco.
So the Rams are seeing this opportunity and they're like, yeah, why not? Next up,
Got more Raiders jerseys at Chargers games anyway.
on that same note, we have a Jeff Fisher sighting. But yeah, one thing Jeff Fisher does know, it's relocating franchises. How
to lose big games. How to piss away your star running back's knees and prime of his career.
How to waste quarterbacks.
Black quarterbacks at that.
So,
damn.
Basically, Fisher was on board when the Houston Oilers moved to Tennessee and became the Tennessee Titans. And he was also on board with the St. Louis Rams when they moved to LA and became the LA Rams. So he was asked, I think it was NFL Network, but they asked him for moving advice. And Fisher said, quote, "There's nothing easy about it. It's a very complex process. First of all, you have to take care of the players. First and foremost, it's all about the players. You got to communicate with them. There's so many questions. You've got to be able to communicate with them. The questions, the unanswered things, they can be debilitating for them." And when he says things, he's talking about, where's our practice facility going to be? Where should I buy a house? Do I need a car? How close is the airport? How close is the bus?
What are the schools like?
What are the schools like? Etc. You know, the regular people, family shit that everyone has to deal with when they relocate. So I'm going to ask you this. Is Jeff Fisher's advice a touchdown or a turnover? Are you listening if you're the Raiders preparing to move or not?
Everyone but Jared Goff should listen to Jeff Fisher.
Because on this instance...
And maybe Todd Gurley. Touchdown.
Jeff Fisher's right. This might be his first touchdown
in a while since drafting Robert Quinn.
Because we all know that last season, the touchdowns were hard for that Rams team to get.
Shout out to Chris Long saying he knew from Aaron Donald's first practice he was a Hall of Famer.
Speaking of that, is that a touchdown or is that a turnover?
That's a touchdown. That boy ran a 4.68.
I'm saying it's a turnover. Okay. It's easy to look back in hindsight and be like, yeah, he was great.
That dude's better than me.
Yeah, like, okay.
As a D-tackle.
Yeah.
He was an All-American defensive end.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
I guess, man.
He had more career sacks than Chris Long.
I just never really heard it before, so it's kind of catching me off guard. It's like,
bro, it's probably
okay, is that really your little bro and you really saw that? Or are you just getting on the hype train now because you're Chris Long and you like to talk?
Is Chris Long like the what's that white boy's name in comedy? He's the Gary Owens of football players.
I don't know who that is.
Wow, never mind. You know who Gary Owens is, Cerv? Yeah, see, Cerv knows. She got that.
All right, and that's it for me. Before we close up to the rants, though, just want to shout out. I want to shout out KJ Wright. Last year he spent $75K to put wells in Kenya, and now this year he's going to Kenya again to follow up, because it's not just only about giving your money, it's also about giving your time and your effort. So shout out to him. That's my good news for the week. You had your own good news, so if you want to share that.
Did I? I don't remember. What was it?
Shaq Lawson.
Oh, yeah. Shaq Lawson is paying for the funeral costs of an 11-year-old girl who was killed in South Carolina. Slain 11-year-old girl, innocent child. It's great when people do stuff like that, pay for the families, but it's just really sad that the child is gone.
It never gets easier, like hearing that. Sadly, we hear it every day, and never gets easier.
A lot of, I would like to hear more stories about athletes who are actually giving back to where they're from because they're out there, but we choose to latch on to very negative stories in the media, and I think it's for a specific reason, but whatever.
All right, on that note, we are all aboard for Flight Cerv to set us off with your rants.
What you mean air serve? No, you can't get peanuts. Don't you fucking ask. You can't get a soda either. And you get Sprite. You get
like
warm
420.
Sprite, yeah, some dry ass weed with some. No, actually,
the
really
salt
weed.
We only smoke loud.
The salt plane.
Loud weed. Loud
you
weed.
may have to work with a gram and a half. You know, each because we're on the budget, because I don't have enough to give everybody eighths on the plane.
Free hash and.
But yeah, it's her time.
So, thank you guys, to the listeners out there, for, putting up with me, my little comments. I'm still learning, and it's cool being on this podcast. Like I said last week, thank you guys. Shout out to you guys for still keeping me on and still liking me. And yeah, I'm surprised you guys didn't kick me out. I'm still waiting for you guys to give me that text like, yeah. So we might need to stop this because we don't know where this is going. So I'm waiting for that.
Damn, so negative.
Just kidding. I love you guys.
Self-doubt is real.
So this last week of Pride, I've been shouting out to the LGBTQ plus community out there. I don't know, but I hope you guys hear me. I just want to say I see y'all. I recognize y'all. I stand by y'all. I love y'all. We eye to eye. I fucks with y'all. Y'all do you. You have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. And yeah, keep celebrating to the last hurrah as we go into July. Feel the burn 2020. Going back to the dim debate. Feel the burn. Feel the burn. I hope everybody feels the burn because he definitely owned it. Kamala Harris did have those little hitters, but still fuck that bitch. But anyways, we need to definitely pay attention to the candidates that are coming up. Shit is real in our office. There's a lot of shit going on. It's very important, even though you may not like politics that much and you don't want to consume it because it can be very intense, annoying, whatever it is. You just at least people at least 2 minutes, like one article that gives a brief, because we need to know what's going on, because they are dependent on people who don't give a fuck about what's going on, because that's how they can be able and do the things that they want to do and control us. So we can't sit here and talk shit about people and say that, this is happening if we also don't care. We need to care. So I know you guys. I'm not shouting at Kenny. That's Pete instigated back there.
Thank you. Someone says Pete's instigated.
What?
No, it's true though. It's important because like the shit that's been going on, especially with climate change and everything. It's important. It's our future, so we definitely need to focus and worry about the candidates that are worried about those things too. Not the people that are just like, let's get Trump out of office, because that's what everybody wants. We need to focus not on just that, but the more important issues that people are trying to brush under the rug. More importantly, I want, we've been talking about a lot of, about athletes and, conduct and whatever, accountability. I just want to rant on, and I know this may not make sense, but I will clarify. I just wish the NFL, maybe I don't tune in as much, I need to tune in more, but I wish that the NFL and the media would give athletes a little bit more humanity and accountability, in the sense that let them own themselves, and like what you guys were talking about, branding. Because a lot of times when I think of NFL players and I think of athletes, I think of meatheads. You know what I mean? They have all these other business ventures that they're doing, but, I don't really hear about too many athletes speaking out. And if there is, for example, in the NBA, LeBron James, when he's speaking out certain things, it's stay in your place, or Colin Kaepernick, stay in your place. I would like to hear more. And I know, and I'm not saying that these athletes should take away from their job as an athlete and what they're doing on the field, because I know that's the most important thing that they're doing. That's what they need to do. But I wish that we can hear more from athletes, and, not expecting too much from them and expecting them, you guys need to be politically involved and do this and do this. I'm not asking for that. I just wish we could just hear more from them. And I know we have Twitter and Instagram and we have social media, so athletes are able to have that platform. But I feel like the media also too tends to kind of shush what they have to say and really only focus on, again, like I said, I know it's NFL, so that's the most important thing, but I just want to hear more from athletes other than just jargon. And also mental health. I would like to hear more about support and health, support of mental health with the athletes too. Again, what you guys are talking about with the NCAA and them, and how they're pushing their bodies and making them do all this shit just to make money off of them. I think we really need to focus on the health of athletes, and I really don't think we pay attention to that. I think we just see them as bodies